Hey everyone, what I have right here is the E-flite Carbon-Z T-28 2 meter. A couple years ago I converted this to FPV. I'm using the DJI O3 Air Unit. I've got a SpeedyBee F405 wing flight controller in it. I did a series on how I did it, at least anyhow. Converted this to FPV. I'm using INAV on this right here. I'm still using, I think, version 7 on it. I haven't updated it. It's still a very stable release. And in this video right here, I've got a couple of flights that I did on this. I hadn't taken this out since last summer, so I took this out and just kind of knocked the cobwebs off on it, and knock the cobwebs off of my flying to see, you know, how I was doing. But what I wanted to show you before I started the flights is kind of just give you a close-up of what I have in here. If you watch this, if you watch the I think it's 7 videos on how I went about converting this right here, you can see, you know, the choices that I made. I decided, you know, a lot of people, whenever they convert these planes in the FPV, you know, the canopies aren't that clear. This canopy is actually very clear, and there's things that you can do to polish them up to make them even better. For me, before I cut it up, I'd put the air unit in here, and I put the goggles on, and it just seemed to, it wasn't that it wasn't clear, it was just kind of distorted for me, that it would kind of aggravate me whenever I was flying. So I still wanted to keep the lines of the canopy in there, and so what I did is, and you can see whenever I'm flying, you know, whenever I'm looking around, you can see the lines of where it's open with no canopy, and then where the canopy starts. But I still just wanted to keep the lines of the canopy. But the DJI O3 Air Unit, it has a tendency to overheat if it doesn't have airflow moving over it. I do have a little fan on it to keep air going on it whenever it's, you know, sitting stationary. But I do have air coming through here. You know, the prop wash helps, but not enough if it's just sitting there. And then, you know, I have opened it up right here on both sides to allow air to flow through and then out, you know, as an exhaust. What's really nice about you know, the size of this plane right here is that you know, the T-28, the real one, is a trainer, so you have a pilot and a student, you know, 2 pilots in here. So my intentions for this plane right here is to put another air unit in the back here, and to have someone be able to do a ride along. I've not done it yet, and now it's kind of hard to get air units. And I've been playing around with, you know, helicopters. So eventually we'll get into it. But what I wanted to do is just kind of give you an up close shots of, you know, this plane right here before you see it flying around, and let you see what's inside, see how it looks. So let me just show that to you real quick. All right, so we get up close. I'm using the DJI O3 Air Unit, and what I'm using here is the gimbal. It's a Motionsic bag gimbal, and I'll leave links to where I get everything, you know, in the description. So this is a 3D printed VTX holder that I'm able to put the. It's kind of hard to see here. It's not glaring, but when I put the fan on there, and then I just have everything kind of, all the cabling going through the back there, or also in through the front. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop this off, and there's kind of a bunch of wires in here, but here we go. So in the back here, now I opted to put some adapters here because there's a lot of cabling that comes in for the retracts and for the flaps and for the ailerons, and so I found a guy on the RC forums that actually made these up for me. And so I bring them up through this hole, and then I can just go clip and clip, and so it's not a nightmare to you know, to take it out to the field. But right here, this is where, you know, I bought this as a bind and fly, and this is where the original receiver was in. So I popped it out and I put the SpeedyBee F405 wing flight controller in. And so right here, there's the GPS, and then in the back here, you can see, well, my hands are there in the way, but there you can see the, I opted for a Spektrum receiver. I'm running all Spektrum. Obviously, if you run it ELRS, it's actually easier to set up on the flight controller. It's not hard to set up the Spektrum stuff on the flight controller, but you know, obviously you get longer range with ELRS or the FR Sky, but I'm flying line of sight. You know, I can, with throttle management, I can get up to 10 minutes or so with the 6S5000. I run 6SR5000 HRB batteries in here, yeah, I'm not leaving line of sight, and I get plenty of range on this right here, and so yeah, I have enough. So all right, so I'll put this back here. And you can see that I opted just for the keeping the lines. I cut out these right here, side panels, but I left this here. And, you know, so for the lines. So anyhow, that's it. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, yeah, please leave them in the comment section. But I'll also leave, if you're curious on how I set all this up, I'll leave in the description. I'll leave a link to the playlist on how I set this up, yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Hey, I see you.